Welcome to the Reddit Chronicles. Today we are reading from True Off My Chest. Our first post is by I Am So Scared. My ex got her birth control taken out and didn't tell me until she was a month pregnant. Me, 28M, and my ex 36F were together for about 4 years and some change. After the first month she gets an IUD in. Now, I'm not fully knowledgeable about birth control and stuff like that, but she told me it would last 5 years until it needed to be replaced. Needless to say, that meant condoms weren't an issue. Fast forward to last month when we're at the store buying stuff for lunch. She mentions that she's feeling a little sick and she wants to get a pregnancy test. Me, being the idiot that I am, just laughs thinking she's joking about, but turns out she wasn't. I asked how she could be pregnant, and she revealed that she got her IUD taken out the month prior and didn't tell me. She takes the test and surprise, surprise, she's pregnant. I asked if we should take another test just to be sure, but she tells me this is her 4th test in 2 days and all of them said pregnant. Now, I'm not opposed to being a father, but when we started talking about either moving into my apartment or hers, she brings up her nephew moving in with us too. She has a younger brother. I think he's like 32 but never bothered to ask, and this guy's a mess and a half. He's had 2 sons that he ditched off on his mom, and my ex's mom has been raising them. I have no ill will towards the kid or anything, but I also don't have any love for him either. She isn't really around him enough for me to have that connection to him, but she considers him her son now. She got upset and told me I'm not fit to be a father if I can't take care of her son as well. I get that pregnancy hormones are a thing and all that, but now she's blocked me on everything. Phone, Facebook, etc. And I don't know what to do. I want to be part of my kid's life, whether or not me and her are together. It's a real rock and a hard place scenario for me. Edit. Well, I guess I have to explain a little bit more about the situation. First off, yes, I know what condoms are. We used them the first month we were together. After a month, we decided to make it official boyfriend-girlfriend. Lovey-dovey cute stuff. That's when she got the IUD. She explained too that it was effective for 5 years. As far as legal advice goes, talking to a lawyer is definitely the best move, so I'm looking into that now, literally waiting on hold as I'm typing this. I'll probably have to do a paternity test, but there's literally no chance this kid isn't mine. I just want to be there for my kid and needed to vent to Reddit. Thanks everyone for all the advice and reading my sob story. Our next post is by Edit's Requiem. I told my kids about my wife's infidelity. Backstory. Me, 27M, and my wife, 27F, have known each other since high school. We were always friends, but didn't show any interest in each other until senior year, where she asked me to prom. I accepted her invitation, and we've been together ever since. We got married in 2015 at age 19 and have 2 daughters who are 7 and 5. About a month ago, I found some texts on my wife's phone while she was in the shower, where she had been flirting with one of her female co-workers that I knew pretty well. We had met at work functions from time to time. They sent each other explicit pictures and messages, and while I found no evidence of a meetup between them, it was heavily implied that they had done stuff together in the past. The messages started about a year ago, so she's been cheating on me for over a year now. I've sent screenshots of the conversation to my phone and confronted her when she got out of the shower, and she broke down sobbing, apologizing, saying she never meant to hurt me. I was seeing red at this point and decided to leave before I did something drastic. She texted me nonstop, begging me to come home and talk, but I wasn't having any of it. So I stayed at my younger brother's 24M place for the night. In the morning, I woke up to hundreds of texts and voicemails from my wife, begging to come home. Eventually, I did come home, but only because she had to work and there was no one else to watch my daughters. I told her to be gone by the time I got there, as I didn't want to speak to her, and when I got home, I sat my daughters down and told them that I was going to be divorcing their mother. They didn't understand what that was, so I had to explain it to them, and my heart shattered while I was telling them. My 5-year-old started crying, and my 7-year-old started begging me not to, and started asking me why I was doing this. So I showed them the pictures I took, excluding the ones with pictures, and they started crying even harder. I assured them that their mommy still loves them, but she hurt me very badly, and I can't be with her anymore. I also told them that I would still see them, and I would do everything I could to make sure of that. I texted my wife, telling her I wanted a divorce, and she needs to pack her things when she gets home. She fought it at first and begged me not to kick her out, but I wasn't in the mood for her bullshit. When she got home, my kids started crying and asking her why she did what she did, and she started screaming at me, telling me that I had no right to tell our kids and that this matter was between us. I told her that since we're getting a divorce, they deserve to know why. She left in a hurry and took the kids with her. As far as I know, she's at her parents' house. My lawyer is in the process of getting the divorce paperwork in order, and I'm ready to fight for the right to see my kids. But they hate my wife right now and refuse to speak to her, only to their grandparents, who have also stopped acknowledging my wife after they learned what she did. I feel I didn't overreact, but my mind has been racking ever since. If anyone has any advice on what to do, please let me know. Our next post is by Zealous Ideal Knight. My married sister and engaged best friend are having an affair, and I am stuck in the middle. Throwaway account just to be safe. Names are changed, but ages are the same. I am a 26M, and my older sister Julie is 28F. Julie is married to Tanner, 29M, and they have 2 kids that are 6 years and 5 months old. I have been best friends with Kyle, 26M, since we were in diapers. Kyle is engaged to Kathy, 28F, and have a wedding date set in November. Kathy and Julie went to high school together and have been close friends for years. Kyle and I both work at a gym that Tanner owns. We all live in a town with less than 2,000 people that live here. 2 weeks ago, I was out with Tanner getting lunch before heading back to work when Tanner started to swear while looking at his phone. He showed me the phone, and while looking on his baby camera app, Tanner saw Julie and Kyle kissing and getting intimate. Tanner started yelling at me, asking if I knew about it, where I was in shock, and told him no. Tanner started taking screenshots of the images and said he was going home for the day. That night, he ended up confronting his wife, my sister Julie. She admitted to having an affair with Kyle, my best friend, for months. Kathy was out of town that night, but Tanner called her to tell her what was going on. Kathy came back the next day and immediately called off the wedding and kicked Kyle out of the house. Tanner took the same route and also asked Julie to leave the house so he could think over how to go about separating, while also keeping the children in mind. A few days later, Julie and Kyle decided to move out of our town and to a town 20 minutes away and rent an apartment together. 2 days ago, I helped to move them in, and I am getting a lot of heat from Tanner and Kathy. Kyle is my best friend, and Julie is my sister, and I know what they did was wrong, but I also know that they don't have a lot of support at the moment, and they are both family to me. This takes us to today. Tanner is now telling me I am not allowed to see my niece and nephew since I decided cheaters are more important than him. I also lost my job today, where Tanner was my boss. I am stuck in the middle where my best friend and sister were the ones who had the affair, but Kathy has become like family, as well as Tanner and my niece and nephew. I am stuck in the middle of the family drama, as I am the single one of our now broken friend group of 5. Edit. For clarification on the moving process, I was helping my sister move out of the house she had with Tanner and move into her new place, and found out while helping her unload that Kyle was moving in with her as well. I took everything out of my car and left. I haven't talked to them since. Sleeping Sentinel writes in the comments below, "Save face, my dude. Apologize to Tanner and move on with life. Small town means alienation when they all find out." Our next post is by Outrageous Repair. Found out my daughter isn't mine. I won't tell a soul and continue raising her like her dad. Throwaway account just to be safe. My wife and I had been trying for a baby for the better part of 3.5 years. Our age plays as we started in our late 30s, early 40s. I have low sperm count, so getting pregnant would be hard, but not impossible. We managed to get pregnant and gave birth to a wonderful baby girl. After a few months, I noticed my daughter has absolutely zero features from me. We joked that she took all her features from her mother and she's her little clone. For reference, I'm Latino with dark features and my wife is white with blue eyes. Our baby is paler than she is with green eyes. I got a little suspicious when I noticed a cleft shin, which doesn't run in either of our families. The doubt just kept growing, so I did a paternity test and turns out I'm not her father. I have no idea or even a suspicion of who it could be, and have no interest in finding out. I love this little girl. She's everything I hoped and dreamed of in a child. I don't care how she got here. I just care that she's in my life. She'll call me Dad. I'll be there every step of the way. I'll walk her down the aisle. I'm not telling anyone I'm not her bio dad. If my wife ever decides to come clean, I won't ask any questions. I have everything that I need in my life right now, and I plan on keeping it that way. Edit. I've read through most of the replies here. Honestly, wasn't expecting any replies, so I'll answer some more of the common questions I've seen. 1. No chance, it's not hers. I was in the room during the C-section, and after they handed her to me, she never left my sight. I also had the fear they would somehow switch the baby, so whenever a nurse needed to take her for tests, I would accompany. 100% this is the same kid that came out of her. 2. After reading some replies, I agree that the priority should be finding out any genetic history she might be subject to. So I'll be bringing things up with my wife and let whatever the fallout is happen. 3. Since my name is on the birth certificate, I assumed responsibility for the child regardless of if she's mine or not. Had no doubts when she was born. Update. I talked to my wife this morning. She was adamant that this kid is mine. She insists that she's never cheated or had a desire to. She'd have been happy being childless with me. Showed her the paternity test and her story didn't change. She says we're going to do another one because there is zero chance that this child isn't mine. Honestly, I was not expecting that response, so I'm calling the bluff and we're getting another one done. I'll update in a few days if anybody cares. Thank you for listening to the Reddit Chronicles. Follow for more content.